Hi Homeworthy, I'm Paige Novak. I'm a working mom of two. I'm also a miniaturist in my spare time, and today I'd like to give you a tour of my dollhouse.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
One of my first memories of dollhouses was when I went and played at a friend's house, and she had this incredible dollhouse. It had 3 stories, it was front opening, and then I wanna say maybe that same year, my parents surprised me with a dollhouse for my birthday, and it was unfinished at the time, so it was just the wood outline of it, basically. And then basically the following year for my birthday, they had it completed. So the exterior was painted and the interior was all done, and I got to help pick out all of that with my parents. There was a really cute miniature store in our neighborhood called the Garden of Miniatures. A lot of those stores don't exist anymore, but I have so many fond memories going there with my family and picking out dollhouse furniture and the wallpaper and different items. It was really special. So initially when I started this whole miniature journey as an adult, I was pregnant with my first, and I finished this dollhouse probably a couple days before she was born. And then I kind of got lost in early motherhood, as I think many women can relate to. You have your identity, which can be, so tied to your career, which mine was. And I found that I had this wonderful new baby, but I was kind of questioning, who am I now? And I was kind of looking for what's that outlet for me that's not necessarily work, that's not necessarily motherhood, that's something that's truly for me. And I think it was about a year after I had my daughter that I really was able to get back into it. I think I was too tired for the first 6 months to a year to really get anything going. But I found this hobby, and I started really small. I bought a couple of these kits from Amazon. They sell them on Temu too, and different places. And I just kind of started. I was let's start small and see what I can do. And so I started with this little kit. Then I moved on to this darling camper van that I did. They call it a kit bash when you take a miniature kit and then just completely change it. So I kind of just used the frame of this little camper, and I made it very Serena and Lily inspired, and it's kind of a cute little beachy camper. And that really got my confidence in what I could make and what I could do going. And then from there, I started doing dollhouse kits, I did a little suitcase house, I did a really large dollhouse, I did a Michael's dollhouse for some of my friends' kids. And so that's been a really fun journey to do with some of my close friends. I love making something for little girls and seeing the joy on their face when they see it for the first time. But just in terms of hobbies, I think kind of going back in that direction, I think one really fun part of it is that you can create and recreate all these rooms and styles that, you can only make over your own house so many times, right? And you have kind of a limitless amount of opportunities to create little miniature spaces, try a different style, and have that opportunity that you wouldn't have in a normal scale house. Obviously less of a budget constraint too. For me, with my process in designing a dollhouse, I really think it's kind of an evolution where I start thinking it's gonna be one way, and it definitely changes a lot throughout the process. I have designers that I love, I love Paloma Contreras' style. I have definitely found inspiration from certain episodes of Homeworthy. The banquette in this dollhouse is scalloped, and there's a few episodes of Homeworthy that have really cute scalloped dollhouses, and I thought, that would be perfect to make kind of into miniature form. But yeah, I think most of it is an evolution. There's a couple of rooms in this dollhouse that I probably wallpapered like 3 or 4 times. Definitely could not do that in real life, but it's fun to watch it evolve. So I made a lot of the plates on the wall out of like Fimo dough. So I made these to be little oyster plates, and I put Velcro on a lot of the walls throughout this dollhouse because I want my kids and myself to be able to like easily rearrange things and put different stuff on the wall without damaging the walls. So that's why we did that. All of these except for this I made myself. This came from a family friend, and I just think it's beautiful and is a great spot for it. My favorite piece in this room is the little brass vintage bar cart. I found that on eBay and I had to have it. I love the little pieces of fruit that I made. I made those out of Fimo dough. And then I also just love the little alcohol bottles, the Tito's bottle, the wine bottle, and champagne. This room didn't have a particular inspiration to start. It very much evolved. So this room, I probably wallpapered it 3 different times before landing on this. And then once I landed on this wallpaper, I knew I had it. And then with the blue and green, I just love how it all works together. This is Mrs. Alice wallpaper. Once I had this, I kind of knew, okay, this fabric I already had would be perfect for the pillows. These chairs were kind of a awful floral color to start. I wasn't in love with that, so I just painted them a little bit of this off-white and put the blue pillows on there, and I thought it popped. I painted the abstract art myself, think it looks great against the green. And then this is also super fun because this is the tequila cap that, we just took off of a tequila bottle that we had, since it seemed like it would be perfect in this room. How cute are these little martini glasses with the little lemon slices? Super cute. And this is another like ode to my husband here. He loves he collects like scotch and bourbon and whiskey, so I have a couple little special bottles for him. This room very much started with the idea of the banquette, which was inspired by many episodes of Homeworthy. There's a few that people have very beautiful banquettes that are scalloped like this. So I knew in this room I wanted to do a banquette and wanted to add scallops. Because this rotating dollhouse, it does have like limited square footage. It's harder to squeeze a normal table in here. So I knew the banquette was really the perfect opportunity for a dining area in this dollhouse. Some other kind of fun and cool things in here are this little antique hutch. I made it myself. I wanted it to be really narrow to fit in this space. It is actually made out of a wood jewelry box from the Dollar Tree, and I painted it and stained it to give it this effect that it actually looks like pine or real wood. And then these little chairs came from my friend's grandmother, and they're little Seska chairs. And I love the little mid-century bit in there. This is a ping pong ball that I thought, why not? It's kind of perfect if we paint half of it gold. The plates on the walls, they're sourced from different places. Many of them are actually from Temu, believe it or not. And then these little blue and white plates are from Hobby Lobby. They were actually like earring pieces, but perfect for a little dollhouse. And then these gold plates came from my mom's gold miniature tea set. And I just thought this was a nice place to incorporate them. These cute little plates here, my mom and I went on a trip to Windsor Castle when I was about 10 or 11. and we saw Queen Mary's dollhouse. It was the highlight of my trip. And afterwards, we went and found this little shop that sold replicas of things that were in the dollhouse. So that's these are replicas of little plates from Queen Mary's dollhouse. Same with this little ceramic chicken or hen. So those pieces are really special to me. It reminds me of that super special trip. This is a Miley, which is a cute little kids toy brand. They make little mice and really cute miniatures that I have scattered throughout the dollhouse, but I thought that was perfect there. This bird cage is also from my family's collection of miniatures. Such a beautiful color and ties in well with the wallpaper. And the wallpaper is Rifle Paper Co. And I love the busyness of it and the colors that are in it. And that is pretty much everything in this room. So I'm trying to think like where my ideas for this kitchen really came from. I think initially I knew I wanted to do this like creamy beige kitchen color. So that's probably where it started. And then I wasn't gonna do wallpaper on the walls, but I painted it, I think a blue color initially, and it just wasn't feeling right for me. So this is also Rifle Paper Co. Chose that, and I really think that's what brought the whole room together. I've had this faux mini Aga stove for a while. It's gone in and out of other dollhouses of mine, but I thought it was perfect here. Believe it or not, this little butcher block I made out of a wood cube from the Dollar Tree. Much like the hutch, I just kind of painted it and made it look distressed, and I kind of love how it turned out in this more, old traditional looking kitchen. Love this little KitchenAid. I think it's so precious. And what else do we have in here? This came from my family. It's part of my mom's collection. I also made the range hood out of a box from the Dollar Tree. So, you never know where you can source little miniature things, and lots of cute little pieces. I love this little plant and all the cute little plates and things. So the inspiration behind this room, I think I always knew that I wanted it to be bright and fun, and I just thought this pink plaid was super cute. This piece is from my mom and my grandparents' collection, and this, if I pull it off, I think I'll show you guys in a second, it came from FAO Shorts. There's an original tag on the back, and it is like over 100 years old. At first I thought I might paint it, but once I put it in here with this pink wallpaper, I just thought, frankly, it's so beautiful. The wood is so beautiful as it is. Why not leave it? These washer and dryer, the set is from, it's also part of that Miley toy collection. And I think it's just super darling. The rug is a fabric sample, works perfectly. I just kind of cut it to fit. And then we have these cute little pieces of clothes, which also are actually from the Dollar Tree, and they just kind of are the right little scale for this house. The baskets on the wall, these I love. They're actually all from Temu too. Some of them I painted, so they're not like all the same color, but Temu is really a great resource for miniatures, believe it or not. There's, quite frankly, a lot of great pieces you can find there. So when I was pregnant with my first daughter, and this was during the height of the pandemic, she was born in January of 2021, I was finishing up my daughter's dollhouse, and my close friend Katie said, you really ought to document this on Instagram. And so I created a little account, and I kind of didn't think much about it, but I started posting little photos of the things I've created or the things that were miniatures that my family had collected. And then I started to discover this whole community of miniaturists that I didn't know existed. And so, you know, my Instagram little homepage, I mainly only follow their other miniaturists, but that was such a cool place to find inspiration and to learn tips and tricks from other miniaturists, many of whom also discovered this hobby during the pandemic, or others who have done it a very long time. But I think I've learned so much from other people in the community. So when I initially started creating dollhouse furniture and miniatures for my daughter's dollhouse, I wasn't as confident as I am now. So initially I resorted to, you know, I would buy a lot more from Etsy. I still love searching for things on Etsy. There's so many great miniature creators. But initially I definitely bought a lot of it. And then over time, as I redid more dollhouses, I learned to make a lot of things myself. I got a lot more comfortable with wallpapering a dollhouse myself, with applying flooring. I got more comfortable making furniture. So a lot of the furniture in here is purchased. Some of it is furniture that's been kind of revamped and made over by me. And then some of it is stuff that I've created from like things from the Dollar Tree. That's like a random wood cube that I made into different things. This room really all started with the bookcase, and the bookcase was probably the most challenging thing to build in this house. Probably one of the most challenging miniatures I've built altogether, just getting it to be like, getting it all to work, getting it to be the right spacing. I built it first outside of the house and then pushed it all in together. So that actually helped instead of trying to build it first on the wall here. So there's a lot of special pieces in this room. To start with, there are some, you know, special family photos in here. One with my dad, one with my late uncle, and a lot of pieces that once again came from my mom and my grandmother. So this cute little like stone house and the stone monkey, those are super cute. This gold teacup, it goes with that gold plate that was downstairs in the dining room. So my mom had this beautiful gold tea set that was one of her favorite miniature pieces, and so definitely showcased some of those pieces in this house. I bought these cute little trinkets, this and the horse, and there's a few others, those little lions over there. I bought those on a recent trip to Florence from this beautiful paper shop called Signum. They've got a few locations across Florence, and it's just such a beautiful store to check out if you're ever there. So it took me such a long time to source this miniature garden stool. There's a few in this house, and they're some of my favorite pieces. I had a very similar one in my childhood dollhouse, and it was blue and white, and it has since gone missing. And I found this one on eBay after frankly searching for years, and we love it. We also have this special little vase in here, which came from, again, my mom's collection. And this came from San Miguel, Mexico. And I'm a sucker for blue and white. You can see it pretty much throughout this whole dollhouse. I love it in my real house too, but I think this is such a beautiful piece here. The painting on the wall, I made that myself. I just it was actually super easy, but I love how it fills in that wall in this room. I thought that in this room it kind of needed something large in scale because the bookcases are so busy. It needed something that took up that wall but was less busy. We've got a bunch of other pieces that are special here too. So these Staffordshire dogs, that's from my childhood dollhouse. These the golden clogs, I should say. This is a charm from my mom and my grandparents' little jewelry collection. This jade Buddha also came from my mom and my grandparents. And we've got some other cool things over here, like this silver trophy. It's actually part of a larger silver tea set. There's a few pieces from that throughout the house. We've got an ivory fish. Who knows how old that is, but that came from my grandparents' collection. This bamboo coffee table is one of my favorite little finds. Found that on eBay. It came with some other cute little bamboo chairs that are in a different space, not in this dollhouse, but super darling. This leather chair, faux leather chair, I should say. This was originally an interesting red color, so I just painted it kind of a leather color. A lot of pieces throughout this house. There's furniture that, I might not like the color of it or whatever. And in miniature form, it's really easy to paint furniture and have it look pretty decent. So I did the same thing with the sofa as well. And I made all the pillows myself. They're Liberty fabrics. And, oh, the chandelier, how could I forget? So I use earrings or jewelry for a lot of the faux light fixtures throughout this house. This can be Velcroed on and off, which I do throughout the house for my girls. That way they're not yanking things off the walls and hurting it, and they can play around with the placement of different things in the house. But I love how this is kind of like, a miniature Capiz shell chandelier. And this is a really beautiful mirror that came from the Modern Dollhouse on Etsy. That shop has really beautiful dollhouse pieces. It's worth checking out. So some of these books I made myself, like these little coffee table books, but a lot of them, after I made the tiny little children's books, it took forever, and I was like, I can't do that for this whole library. So I actually bought like a pack of 100 mini books from, I think it's Temu, and they're real books. Like it's a Court of Thorns and Roses. There's a bunch of like popular books here, To Kill a Mockingbird. So I think it's kind of fun, and it adds a nice little element of detail to this room. I like having the mirror here with like the little topiary plants, and then again, these little pieces that I got on my trip to Florence. I'm trying not to like overdo this room with brass and gold, so some of these little like darker elements really help. So this sofa is a vintage sofa that I found on eBay. I really liked the lines of it because it's a little bit more modern. I painted this as well, painted it this off-white color. The pillows I made myself. They're a Liberty print. And the painting I also painted myself. I just wanted something that was like a little bit larger scale in this room. Because the bookshelves are so busy, it, I think, needed something large to not overwhelm the space. So this room, initially I chose this blue wallpaper because at the time my older daughter's favorite color was blue. Since then it has turned to black. We have not changed the wallpaper to match that, but I just really love the way the wallpaper looks. This bed is probably my favorite miniature piece in this whole dollhouse. It is a brass vintage bed. It's over 100 years old. We had it in a box of furniture from my grandparents for many years, and it didn't have a mattress or anything on it, so it never really got used. And then I decided it was time for it to, kind of have a new life. So I polished it up, and we, made bedding and a mattress for it, put on a cute little dust ruffle, and I think, it's very much come back to life and is super darling. The books in this room, I actually made almost all of those myself by hand. I chose some of my kids' favorite books, like Goodnight Moon, and one of my favorites from when I was little, Baby Blue Cat Who Said No. The Noah's Ark also is like, it's so cute. This is actually Playmobil. So Playmobil has this little series, I think it's like an old series now, but where they have all these like miniature versions of some of their toys. And so it's the perfect scale for this dollhouse. They actually magnet to things, so it's kind of nice that way you don't lose the little animals as much. This cute dollhouse, I think I got that one at Hobby Lobby. This dresser vanity is also from my grandma, her collection. It was originally a really dark brown. I painted it this like creamy color. That's the same color as the kitchen cabinets. And I had to put this cute little picture of my daughter and her first little friend, Marin, in here. We no longer live near Marin, but she asks about her all the time, and she was super excited when I put this little picture of them in her dollhouse room. This lamp, that is one of those pieces that the lampshade is made out of a wine bottle cork. And then these cute, precious little wooden clogs. These also came from my grandparents' little collection of miniatures. The light fixture in this room is a like cabinet knob or a dresser knob. So really, you know, miniatures can come from anything. The inspiration behind this room started with the pink and orange wallpaper. I love pink and orange. My mom loves pink and orange too. And so I knew in some space in this little dollhouse, I was gonna do the pink and orange wallpaper somewhere. We also put in this scallop molding at the top. The rug in this room, as with a lot of the different rugs throughout the house, are fabric samples, super easy rug hack. The books here, I also made these toys. These toy vintage cars are also from my family's miniature collection. These tiny little wicker chairs that these bunnies are in, these are actually also from Temu, as are all these little cute dollhouses. Same with the bears and the bunnies. And the closet opens and there's some toys shoved in there, including a little Monopoly board. But I wanted to make like the kids' rooms in the dollhouse really look like a kid actually lived there. Like, I want to see the toys out as if this was really a little kid's living space. So that's kind of the inspiration here. Oh, one other thing, another earring that is a light fixture. In this dollhouse, I will say I chose not to do real working lights in other dollhouses I have, just because I know my kids do actually break those apart. So I specifically chose no real working lighting and just did these, you know, earrings, jewelry, brooches instead. This is the powder room. And I think the inspiration for this room came from this little abstract, it's kind of almost like an abstract coral mirror. I made this out of Fimo dough as well. One of my favorite little miniature tricks is using Fimo dough. You can use it for a ton of different things. This, the sconces are made out of toothpicks with just paper wrapped around for the shades. You can see the little booties that are above the toilet as the art in the room. One of the weirdest little miniature finds I've ever found was toilet paper. These are earrings I bought off of Temu. They're also in the upstairs bathroom, and you'll see, like, who would have thought that people sell toilet paper, miniature toilet paper earrings, but it works out for my minis, so I don't mind. I love this wallpaper. I forget what it is, but it's kind of a perfect little pop of green. And this beautiful vase I bought in Murano, Italy, when I was on my study abroad trip when I was like 21. So the Dollar Tree actually does have some like wood dollhouse furniture, and this is one of the pieces. When I go and they have this, I end up buying a lot of them because you can use them in so many different places in a dollhouse. And you can make it look pretty fabulous. Like obviously I painted and stained this. I did a little gold paint on the base there, and then I added this striped fabric around the bottom of the sink just to give it an extra little pop, which is a nice contrast with the green leafy wallpaper. And then, you know, here's our cute little toilet paper earrings that really just bring in all the details. This room really all started with this floral wallpaper. I saw it and I knew I wanted to use it in some way in this house, and I thought that the primary bedroom would be the perfect spot for it, but it took me a while to get the rest of the room right. I started out with the bed being a different fabric and it looked kind of awful, so we ended up with this pretty blue kind of linen fabric. I made this bed myself. It is made out of a wood box as the base from the Dollar Tree. Sponges are the mattress, and actually that's a great tip, is like if you're wanting to make a bed for miniatures, use sponges. All the mattresses pretty much in this house are made out of sponges. This is a burp cloth from my daughters, no longer needed anymore. And I sewed together the bedspread myself. The lamps are a pottery that I already had. I just kind of painted them to look a little bit more distressed. And then the lampshades are also made out of a wine cork, and I just covered it in this Liberty fabric that you can also see down in the like library living room. The poster here is kind of like an ode to my husband, but also one of our close family friends has this giant poster. They had it in their dining room and I would always gawk over it. I really loved it. My husband's into sailing. A lot of our early dating we did around sailing. And so I just think it's pretty. It also kind of modernizes this bedroom, which is a bit more traditional in nature. So I think it kind of is a nice kind of yang to the overarching room. And other than that, I have the little books in here are some of my favorite books, like Boys in the Boat and All the Light We Cannot See. The little silver sailboat there also came from my family's collection of miniatures, and it used to be in my dollhouse growing up. And then these little artichoke figures also came from my recent trip to Florence from that paper store. Oh, one last thing is the light fixture. That is an antique brooch that I painted gold. And the mirror I also made out of Fimo dough and painted it. So this is the primary bath, and the inspiration definitely started with the green vanities. The vanities are part of the Miley toy collection, the Miley mice, and I just thought like it's so beautiful. And so I added a little set of drawers in the middle to kind of bring it together. This cute little wicker chair is from a miniature store in Torrance. There's really not many miniature stores left, but it's a cute little store, and I thought that's such a cute little piece. We have a federal mirror, and then I made these little sconces. I think these ones are made out of chapstick caps, and this blue pottery, I love it. I think it's so beautiful and detailed. It also came from that cute little miniature store in Torrance. One thing with miniatures is getting fabric to actually hang right is really a challenge. So what I do to help like a towel look real or help bedding to actually fall like it should is I starch it and then kind of mold it the way I need it to be, which is how I got the towels to sort of hang as if they were real life, hanging in real life. This bathtub is also part of that Miley toy collection. This garden stool is also one of those garden stools that I found on eBay after searching for mini garden stools for years and having no luck. You might not be able to see it, but I have some little fluff in the tub, which kind of looks like real bubbles. And the hardware and fixtures are they're from Temu actually. There's not much to say about this room other than we've got the cute little toilet paper earring again. And then this little piece of art actually was painted by my daughter. I like to have, you can buy these little miniature canvases at a lot of places like Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Walmart. And so I like to get a bunch of them and have them do some art on it and then incorporate it throughout the dollhouse so they feel like they're a part of it. So this is the mini dressing room. And I think I knew I wanted to do a little closet or a little dressing room in this dollhouse because this beautiful piece is also from my grandparents. It's over 100 years old, from FAO shorts. And so I definitely wanted to incorporate that somehow. I ended up not painting it. I thought it's so beautiful as it is. What else do we have in here? I made this little stool for the vanity. I've got little pictures of both of my girls. This cute little modern white chair. We've got a little brown bag, Bloomingdale's bag, hair dryer, got a few little makeup pieces. And then one of my favorite things of all in here are the tiny little purses, including this little tiny miniature Kelly bag, which I think is so darling. My daughter and I did these little abstract art pieces together, which tie in nicely with the room altogether. This wallpaper is Brunswick and Fee. And I also love this little basket, which came from a trip to Nantucket when I was like 10 or 11. And that was actually on a necklace, oddly enough, but it's a real woven basket. It's pretty incredible. Same with this hat. I am not actually sure where that's originally from, but it is also actually woven, not like a fake resin basket. And yeah, I just think it's such a fun little room. This light fixture is also an earring. This really gave me this amazing outlet that brings me so much joy. I love to also have my daughter seeing me do something that's for me. And I really encourage other women to, find a hobby, find something that really sparks joy for them, whether that's like painting or hiking, or it doesn't have to be creative, but we all need that outlet. I try and do whether it's 5 minutes or 30 minutes a day of something miniature, as long as I can kind of keep it up, keeping the habit of a few minutes a day, then I know I'll keep on track and I'll keep moving forward with it. I think that this is a legacy and tradition that I carry on and want to carry on for my family. My grandparents have been passed for a long time, and I think that this is a really wonderful way to continue that connection with them and carry on things that they were passionate about. And I definitely want my daughters to enjoy it too. I don't want to force it on them. But I've introduced it to them at a pretty young age, where my 1.5-year-old, she's very good with little things. She's pretty delicate. She won't put them in her mouth. So I try to introduce it to them at a young age, that it's something that they really like and enjoy. And, they have played with this dollhouse so much. I try and orient things in the dollhouse in a way that little hands and little people can play with it and not ruin it. So one of the things you'll see is that I use these clear Velcro dots for light fixtures, for art that's on the walls, even to secure some of the different like bookcases to the walls. That way they can go in and play with it and not hurt things and move things around. I want them to feel like this isn't too precious. I want it to be something that's approachable for them, and that it's not like mom's precious thing that I won't ever let them see or play with.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.